Today in this class we will work out some examples on the calculation of managerial remuneration. We have already worked with some 2-3 examples on calculation of managerial remuneration, and you can see on the screen here the statement of profit or loss relating to Harsha Limited, right? And with the help of these information, statement of profit or loss and other information, you have to prepare and you have to calculate the profit for managerial remuneration and also the amount of managerial remuneration payable. Now you can write down this example. Harsha Limited employs a managing director who is entitled to a salary of Rs 5,000 per month. In addition to the salary, to a commission of 1% of the net profits before charging such a salary and commission. Right? The following statement of profit or loss presented by Harsha Limited for the year 31st March 2018. You can take down this statement of profit or loss. Right? Nowadays, or as per the provisions of the Companies Act, right, or Companies Act 2013, as per this act, the statement of profit or loss and the balance sheet is prepared in a vertical format, not in a horizontal format. Therefore, earlier it was profit and loss account. Now it is called it as statement of profit or loss. So statement of profit or loss format, you may be knowing that. Now the statement of profit or loss is given. It indicates, shows here the gross profit of Rs 10 lakhs. Profit on sale of plant 1 lakh. Here cost price of the plant is 2,50,000. Return on value is 1,80,000. Subsidy received from the central government 4 lakhs, and the total revenue is 15 lakhs. Right? And the various expenses are also classified under different categories. Under the new format of statement of profit or loss, total revenue is taken at the top. Total revenue, including revenue from sales and other revenue. Similarly, the expenses are also classified into different categories. It includes employee benefit expenses like salary, staff salary and bonus, right? 3 lakhs. Finance cost. Finance cost means interest expenses are classified under one hand called as finance cost, and it is given as 20,000 rupees. And again, you have other depreciation and amortization classified under separate headings, 1,50,000. Other expenses, right? Other expenses 3,65,000. And total expenses consists of 8,35,000. So total expenses 8,35,000. Total revenue we have here 15 lakh. Therefore, the profit before tax is equal to 4 minus 5. 4 means here, 4 means total revenue, 5 means total expenses. So 15 lakh minus 8,35,000. Therefore, profit before tax consists into profit before tax will be 6,65,000. Right? And then you have to deduct tax expenses. Out of the tax expenses, you have to show the current tax and also earlier taxes if there is any. And current tax is 3,32,500, almost 50% of tax. And the profit for the period, profit available for distribution, right? Profit available for, or profit at the end of the year, profit available for appropriation is 3,32,500. Now this is what the statement of profit or loss shows here. You can once again see gross profit 10 lakh, profit on sale of fixed assets, that is plant rupees 1 lakh, subsidy from the central government 4 lakhs, total revenue 15 lakhs, isn't it? The expenses are classified as employee benefit expenses, staff salary and bonus 3 lakhs, finance cost consists of interest on debentures 20,000, right? Depreciation and amortization related to total amount of depreciation 1,50,000, and other expenses, that note number 1 that is given here below the other expenses. It should be note number 1 should be in the same column of other expenses, right? 3,65,000, and this other expenses has to be given. What expenses are included in other expenses are given in note number 1, 3,65,000, and total expenses 8,35,000. Profit before tax is nothing but total revenue minus total expenses, 4 minus 5. Profit before tax is 6,65,000, and tax expenses are 3,32,500, and profit before tax is 3,32,500. Now this is the statement of profit or loss given by the company, right, Harsha Limited. And again, in the additional information, the explanation regarding the other expenses are given. That is notes to accounts. The other expenses 3,65,000 includes all these types of expenses. Right? Here in the other expenses we have right 3,65,000 other expenses, and here all other expenses consist of these expenses. The other expenses consist of general expenses 1,50,000, repairs to building 30,000, directors fees 10,000, research and development expenses 25,000, ex gratia to employees 5,000, bad debts 30,000, compensation of breach of contract 20,000, donation to RK mission 30,000, managing director salary 60,000, debenture trustee remuneration 5,000. So total 3,65,000 expenses includes, right, consists of these expenses here, right? But other categories of expenses needs no explanation here, because depreciation means only depreciation of assets, and in the case of employee benefit expense means it includes only expense related to employee salary, bonus paid, employee state insurance, and it is expense related to only employees. And finance cost consists of finance cost includes expenses related to interest expenses only. Therefore, other categories of expenses needs no explanation. But in the case of other expenses, if other expenses are given here 3,65,000, the details of other expenses are given here. General 1,50,000, repairs 20,000, direct fees 10,000, research and development 25,000, ex gratia 5,000, bad debts 30,000, compensation of breach of contract, compensation for breach of contract 20,000, donation to mission, RK mission, right, Ramakrishna mission 30,000, and managing director salary 60,000, debenture trustee remuneration 5,000, total right expenses are here 3,65,000. This is what the information. You are required to calculate the commission payable to the managing director. You may assume the depreciation appearing in the statement of profit or loss has been calculated in accordance with the schedule 2 to the Companies Act 2013. Right? Now, from this information, you have to prepare. You have to calculate the commission payable to the managing director. The managing director is entitled to a profit of how much? Salary of how much? 5,000 per month, right? And in addition to salary, he is allowed a commission of this 1% on the net profit before charging such salary and commission, right? So total managing director's salary paid is how much it is given here, already paid 5,000 rupees per company 60,000 indirect salaries paid, already paid here, but you have to calculate commission 1% on the net profit. Commission 1% on net profit. See, commission is calculated on the net profit, which is calculated on the basis of the provisions of Companies Act of 2013, 198 Companies Provisions 198 of the Companies Act of 2013. That you know how it is calculated here. The profit for managerial remuneration, right? The profit for managerial remuneration is calculated by taking into account the profit of the company, and the inadmissible expenses are added back, and the inadmissible incomes are deducted. The balance will be the profit for managerial remuneration. Now in this case, there are two profits. One is the company has the statement of profit or loss includes a gross profit here, gross profit 10 lakh, and the company's net profit is rupees 3,32,500. Right? Now either way you can do this. Either way you can calculate the profit for the remuneration. You can take first starting profit, net profit, or you can also take starting profit as gross profit. Right? Only thing is the items of expenses, what expenses are allowed has to be deducted, and what expenses which are not allowed has to be added back. Now if you take gross profit, gross profit means before deduction of all the expenses. Gross profit means it is sales revenue minus direct expense only, before taking all other indirect expenses. Now if you take gross profit as a base or starting point or starting profit, all the allowable expenses are to be deducted, all the allowable expenses, and all the allowable income should be added, isn't it? But if you take net profit as a base, and when you take net profit includes, net profit consists of, or net profit is the balance of profit after deducting all the expenses and after adding all the incomes. Net profit means after deducting all the direct and indirect expenses and after adding all the incomes of the company, incomes of the business. So if you take net profit, out of the expenses already deducted, the expenses which are not to be allowed for managerial remuneration should be added back, and the incomes or profit which is already added, out of those incomes or profit, the income which is not allowed for managerial remuneration should be deducted. That is the thing, that is what you have to do here, right? You can calculate the profit for managerial remuneration both ways. That is by taking gross profit as a base profit or starting profit, or you can also take net profit as a base profit or starting profit. Now here we have, say I have solved this example here. Here calculation of net profit for managerial remuneration as per section 198 of the Companies Act. I have taken net profit here. You can also take gross profit. If you take net profit, as I told you, if you take net profit as a base, right? Net profit means after deducting all the expenses and after adding all the income or profit. Now, when all the expenses are deducted, the inadmissible expenses, the expenses which are not allowed for managerial remuneration should be added back, isn't it? So, out of the expenses here, the various expenses are given. Expenses are here. Employee benefit expenses, salary and bonus is allowable expenses, isn't it? It is to be allowed. It is to be allowed for calculation of managerial remuneration. Finance cost is also an allowable expenses. depreciation is also allowed because depreciation is as per the Schedule 2 to the Companies Act of 2013. So depreciation should be allowed here, right? All the three expenses are allowed, and in the other expenses categories, right? The other expenses are 3,65,000. In the other expenses category, if there is any expenses which is not to be allowed for managerial remuneration, those expenses are to be taken into consideration, isn't it? Right? So here in the other expenses category, general expenses are deducted or taken as allowable expenses. Repairs to building is allowable expenses. Directors' fees are allowable expenses. Right? Research and development expenses, it is the cost of instruments. Research and development expenses, the cost of instrument only. The cost of instrument is rupees 25,000. So cost of instrument is a cost of asset. Therefore, it is a capital expenditure. Therefore, this expense should be deducted. Right? When you take the net profit, 3,52,500. Research and development expenses, as it is a cost of instrument, right? 25,000. As it is a capital expenditure, capital expenditures are not allowable expenses for managerial remuneration. Therefore, cost of instrument is to be deducted. It is inadmissible expenses, expense which is not allowed. Right? Similarly, if you take other expenses like ex gratia to employees, ex gratia to employees is also not an allowable expenses because it is an expenses which is, it is a amount paid, extra amount paid to the employees, extra amount. Therefore, ex gratia to employees are not allowable expenses. Therefore, it is deducted. Inadmissible expenses, it is deducted. Similarly, we have right, bad debts. Actually, bad debts is an expenses which is generally allowed. It is allowable expense, but provision for bad debts are not allowed. Bad debts are allowable expenses, and it is deducted. And compensation for breach of contract. Compensation for breach of contract is also a legal liability. It is right. A contract is entered into between the company and others, and violation of contract by the company has paid compensation of rupees 20,000. So it is an allowable expenses. Right? Compensation for breach of contract is an allowable expenses. Donation to RK mission is also an allowable expenses. Charitable, right? It is a charity given to some purpose, Ramakrishna mission or some. So donations are allowed here. Managing director salary, as we are calculating commission for managing director on the basis of net profit, therefore it should be added back to the profits here. Managing director's salary is rupees how much? 60,000 is added back because you are calculating net profit for the real person. Net profit should not include the commission should be calculated on the net profit before charging salary. Therefore, this amount is to be added back. Similarly, income tax. Here, income tax provision. Provision for income tax is a allowable and disallowed expenses. Tax expenses are rupees 3,32,500 is not allowed, isn't it? 3,32,500 current tax, or it is a provision for tax. Therefore, it is not an allowable expenses. So all these expenses are disallowed. These expenses are disallowable expenses. Therefore, it is added back to the profit. The total disallowable expenses are 4,22,500, right? Therefore, the amount comes to 7,55,000. The inadmissible expenses are added. expenses which are inadmissible are added. Similarly, when you take net profit, in this net profit, right, other incomes are also added. Other income means profit on sale of fixed asset and any other income, if the income is there, that is already added in this profit, right? Therefore, the capital profits of capital nature should be deducted, isn't it? The profits of capital nature should be deducted. Now, if you see the statement of profit or loss, what are the incomes added here? The incomes of profit added to the right gross profit is profit on sale of plant rupees 1 lakh is added. Profit on sale of plant 1 lakh is added. Subsidy from government is added. Therefore, subsidy from government is a allowable income. Therefore, it is added back. Right? No need of any adjustment. But in the case of sale of fixed asset, profit on sale of fixed asset, as I told you earlier in the previous class, right? Profit on sale of fixed asset, only revenue profits are allowable or added back to the profit, but the capital profit which is already added to the profit should be deducted, isn't it? Capital profit, revenue profit should be added back. Revenue profit is added, but capital profit, if there is any in this sale of profit on sale of fixed asset, that capital profit has to be deducted. Now, if you see here, the cost of the plant is 2 lakh. Original cost is 2,50,000. Its return down value is how much? 1,80,000. But profit on sale of fixed asset is 1 lakh. Now, as I told you, what is the capital profit and what is the revenue profit here? Capital profit means sale minus original cost. Sale minus original cost is the capital profit, right? Return down value, original cost minus return down value is the capital profit, revenue profit. So, what is the sale price? Sale price is not given here. But sale price is calculated by taking into account profit is nothing but sale minus return down value. Profit is what? Sale minus return down value. So 1 lakh is equal to sale we don't know minus return down value. Therefore, profit sale is equal to return down value plus profit. Sale is equal to return on value plus profit. So, profit is equal to sale minus return on value. Therefore, sale is equal to return on value plus profit. Therefore, sale is equal to return on value 1,80,000 plus profit 1 lakh. Sale is equal to how much? Sale is equal to 1 lakh, 2,80,000. Sale is equal to 2,80,000. So, what is the capital profit? Sale minus original cost. 2,80,000 minus, isn't it? 2,50,000. Therefore, profit on sale of capital profit on sale of plant is, right, 30,000. That note 1 you can show here. 30,000 note 1. Profit on sale of plant. Sale price is equal to return on value plus profit. That is 1,80,000 plus 1 lakh, 2,80,000. Original cost of the plant is, right, 2,50,000, and profit on sale is capital profit on sale is 30,000. So total profit how much? 1 lakh. Total profit is 1 lakh. Capital in this 1 lakh rupees profit, capital profit is 30,000. Capital profit is 30,000. Therefore, capital profit should be deducted because all 1 lakh rupees added to the profit. Total 1 lakh rupees added to the profit. Out of 1 lakh rupees, capital profit 30,000 already added should be deducted because it is enough. 70,000 is revenue profit. 70,000 means cost minus return on value. Return on value is 2,50,000, 1,80,000. Cost is 2,50,000. 2,50,000 minus 1,80,000 is equal to 70,000. Our total profit is 1 lakh minus capital profit is 30,000. So balance 70,000 is revenue profit, isn't it? Now this is how we have to calculate. See, all inadmissible expenses are added back. Inadmissible expenses are added here: 25,000, 5,000, 60,000, and 3,32,500. Total 4,22,500. And similarly, our inadmissible income is deducted. Income means capital profit is deducted. Therefore, profit for managerial remuneration is 7,25,000. 7,25,000. It is 10 is missing here. Make it 7,25,000. It should be 0. 0 should be here, right? 7,25,000. So, managerial remuneration is calculated here. Commission is calculated on the basis of, right, profit for managerial remuneration. 1% on 7,25,000. Commission is 1% on 7,25,000. Therefore, commission comes to how much? Commission comes to rupees 7,250. Commission comes to 7,250. So, as per the provisions of section 197 of Companies Act 2013, maximum remuneration, salary plus commission payable to managing director is limited to 5% of net profits of the company. Prior approval of central government is required for any excess payment. Now, here, as per the provisions of the Companies Act, the maximum remuneration payable, including commission, to the managerial person is, managing director is 5%. And if there is only one managing director, one managerial person, 5% of net profits, isn't it? So, total remuneration should be 5% of the net profit. If any additional amount is paid, central government's approval is necessary. But in this case, if you see the example, in this case, total 60,000 is already paid to the managerial personnel. 60,000 means 5,000 rupees remuneration is already paid, 5,000 rupees per month. So, total 60,000 remuneration is paid and 7,250 is the commission, isn't it? Therefore, salary plus commission payable, salary plus commission is how much? 67,250 payable. But as per the provisions of the Companies Act, the total remuneration, including salary and commission, salary plus commission, in rupees payable how much? 7%, 5% of 7,25,000, 36,250 only should be paid, isn't it? Salary paid is 60,000, commission payable is 7,250, total 67,250. But as per the provisions of the Companies Act, only 5% of the profit should be payable. 5% of the profit how much? 36,250. But the company has paid excess amount of rupees how much? 31,000. Right? But for the payment of any excess amount, right, prior approval of the central government is required. Not to pay excess amount or more than the limit prescribed as per section 198, a company needs the approval of the central government. Now, we have to assume here prior approval of central government in respect of excess payment of 30,000 is required. We can assume here the company has taken the prior approval of the central government because it has already paid how much? It has paid 60,000 rupees to the managerial personnel and 5,000 to 7,000 rupees should be payable Therefore, or otherwise the managing director should refund the balance amount of rupees 23,750. Already 60,000 is paid, but maximum amount payable as per the Companies Act is 36,250. Therefore, the balance amount of 23,750 is refundable only when the company has not taken the prior approval of the central government. The company has not taken, then it has to be refunded. The managing director has to refund the amount payable, excess amount paid, 23,750. This is what, as per the provisions of the Companies Act, the managerial remuneration payable. Right? Now, here the note on capital profit. Capital profit is nothing but sale minus original cost of the asset. Sale price is not given here, but sale price can be calculated. Sale price is nothing but written down value plus profit. Sale price is equal to written down value plus profit is equal to sale minus written down value. So sale is equal to written down value plus profit. So written down value is 1,80,000, profit is 1 lakh. So total 2,80,000 is the sale price. And original cost of the asset is 2,50,000. Therefore, 30,000, as I already explained you, 30,000 is the capital profit. It is already added. The total profit is 70,000, so 1 lakh. And out of 1 lakh, 30,000 is the capital profit. And balance 70,000 is the revenue profit. Isn't it? And the other note regarding cost of equipment, as it is a capital nature, it is disallowed not to be taken for managerial remuneration. And ex gratia paid is also not allowable expenses. Ex gratia paid to the employees, right? It is not treated as allowable expense for managerial remuneration. So that is how we have to calculate, right, profit for managerial remuneration and calculate managerial remuneration on the basis of that profit. Now this example is based on, see, we have calculated the profit for managerial remuneration by taking net profit as a base. You can also take gross profit as a base here, right? Gross profit as a base. If you take gross profit as a base, the profit for managerial remuneration should also be same. But whatever profit you have calculated, the profit for managerial remuneration is 7,25,000, right? Same profit you must get when you take gross profit also. Suppose you take gross profit here. Gross profit is how much? Gross profit is 10 lakh. Gross profit is 10 lakh. When you take gross profit, all the allowable expenses are to be deducted, allowable incomes are to be added. Suppose you take 10 lakh rupees. What is the allowable income you have to add here? 10 lakh. Here profit on sale of fixed asset. You have to add only revenue profit, 70,000, not capital profit. 10 lakh plus 70,000, 10 lakh 70,000. Subsidy from government is added, right? 10 lakh 70,000 plus 4 lakh, right? 14 lakh 70,000 is the total profit. Then all the allowable expenses are to be deducted. Allowable expenses are here. Employee benefit is allowed, it is deducted. Finance cost is allowed, it is to be deducted. Similarly, depreciation and amortization is allowed and it is to be deducted. And in other expenses, you have to deduct 1,50,000, 30,000, right? 10,000. It is not allowed. It is not to be deducted. It is also not allowed. Expiration is also not allowed. It is not to be deducted. Bad debts deducted, as it is allowable expenses. Compensation for breach of contract, it is deducted, right? remuneration, actually we have to calculate net profit. We have to calculate net profit without taking manager remuneration, right? And debentures are allowable expenses. Debentures are allowable expenses. Debenture trustee remuneration, it is also to be deducted. So these expenses are deducted, and that means the expenses which are not which is already added back, when you take net profit, that is not to be considered, isn't it? Therefore, the balance will be same. The profit for manager remuneration 7,25,000 as you calculate. This expenses of this income tax. Income tax is also not to be considered. It is not allowable expenses. Therefore, it is not to be deducted. So that is how you have to calculate net profit for managerial remuneration. Either you can take gross profit as a base, or you can also take net profit as a base. Right? That is regarding the problem number 4 or example number 4. And another example you can also take here. Another example, it is on the screen, you can read here. XYZ Limited has 3 directors, 3 whole-time directors, and others are part-time directors. Right? XYZ Limited has 3 whole-time directors and others being part-time directors. Has earned a profit during the year ended 31st March 2017, 2,50,000 after taking into account the following. In the year 31st March 2017, the company earned a profit of rupees 2,50,000 after taking the following. That is, depreciation on fixed assets 47,800. But depreciation admissible as per the Companies Act is only 32,800. Right? The company has already deducted 47,800, but allowable depreciation is only 32,800. Capital expenditure included in general expenditure, charge into profit and loss account 12,500. Right? In the general expenses, 12,500 is a capital expenditure, but it is already charged into profit and loss account. And provision for tax is 1,22,500. Provision for tax is 1,22,500. You are required to calculate the maximum remuneration payable to whole-time directors and part-time directors, assuming that the remuneration payable to whole-time director is calculated on the net profits remaining after the payment of commission to part-time directors, and commission payable to part-time director is calculated on the net profit remaining after payment of remuneration to whole-time director. This condition, as per this condition, you have to calculate remuneration payable to whole-time directors and also commission payable to the part-time directors. There are 2 types of directors in the company: whole-time directors and part-time directors, isn't it? 3 whole-time directors and others are part-time directors. A company has earned a profit of rupees 2,50,000 already as per the profit or loss account. The company's profit is 2,50,000, and this 2,50,000 is calculated by taking these expenses. Depreciation 47,800 already deducted from this profit, and allowable depreciation only 32,800, and general capital expenditure which is included in the general expenses and charged to profit and loss account is 12,500. Is already deducted from this profit, and provision for tax is already deducted 1,22,000 while calculating the profit of this 2,50,000. Right? And you have to calculate remuneration for both whole-time directors and also part-time directors, assuming that the remuneration to whole-time director is calculated on net profit which is after payment of commission to part-time directors, right? And commission payable to part-time director is calculated on that particular profit which is remaining after payment of remuneration to the whole-time directors. So this is the condition here. This is the condition. Now for that, first you need to calculate net profit. First you have to calculate net profit for managerial remuneration. So net profit here, net profit is 2,50,000, but this 2,50,000 is after taking these expenses. Now in these expenses, which is inadmissible, that has to be added back. Therefore, calculation of profit for managerial remuneration. Net profit arrived is how much? 2,50,000, and provision for tax already inadmissible expenses, it should be added back. Provision for tax is inadmissible, it should be added back. Capital expenditure is also inadmissible. Capital expenditure included in general expenditure already charged to the statement of profit or loss or profit or loss account, right? In the general expenditure, so total general expenses are debited to profit or loss account or charged to profit or loss account. In this total general expenses, 12,500 is capital expenditure. The capital expenditure should not be considered or not allowed for calculating managerial remuneration. Therefore, it is added back. And excess depreciation, actually depreciation already deducted while calculating the profit of 2,50,000 is 47,800. 47,800 depreciation is already deducted from the profit. But depreciation allowed as per the Companies Act is only how much? 32,800. Schedule 2 to the Companies Act. Right? It means 15,000 rupees more depreciation is deducted from this profit. 15,000 rupees. Now actual depreciation already is only 32,800, but depreciation already deducted from the profit is 47,800. So 15,000 rupees extra depreciation, more depreciation is deducted from this profit. It is not to be deducted, therefore it is added back. So these three are inadmissible expenses: provision for tax, capital expenditure, and excess depreciation already deducted. Right? So the net profit for managerial remuneration is 4 lakhs. That's what you have calculated here. Right? Net profit for managerial remuneration is 4 lakhs. And you have to calculate remuneration to whole-time directors on this 4 lakhs. And also you have to calculate commission to part-time directors on this 4 lakhs. But the condition is remuneration is payable after deducting commission to the part-time directors. Right? Remuneration is payable to whole-time director is calculated on that particular profit which is remaining after payment of remuneration to commission to whole-time part-time directors. And again, commission payable to the part-time director is calculated after deducting remuneration to the whole-time directors on that profit after deducting remuneration to the whole-time directors. So this is the condition here. Now as we already, as per the provisions of the Companies Act, when there are more managerial personnel, whole-time directors, right, part-time, whole-time directors, managers are paying more than one, we know that maximum remuneration payable to whole-time directors, all whole-time directors is 10%, isn't it? Maximum remuneration payable to whole-time director is 10%, and maximum remuneration payable to the part-time directors are 1%. There are 3 whole-time directors here, and 10% remuneration is payable to the whole-time directors, and 1% commission is payable to the part-time directors. Right? Now, 10% commission remuneration is payable to the whole-time directors after deducting 1% commission to the part-time directors. And 1% commission is payable to the part-time director is after deducting, right, 10% remuneration to the whole-time directors. Isn't it? Now, in order to calculate remuneration to the whole-time directors, you have to deduct part-time directors commission. You have to deduct from the profit part-time directors commission. And in order to calculate part-time directors commission, you have to deduct whole-time directors remuneration. Isn't it? So, here, in order to calculate whole-time directors remuneration, you need part-time directors commission. In order to calculate part-time directors commission, you require, right, whole-time directors remuneration. Both are inclusive here. Therefore, in order, out of 4 lakh rupees profit, you have, in order to calculate whole-time directors 10% commission, you have to deduct from 4 lakh, right, part-time directors remuneration. And to calculate 1% whole-time directors commission, right, from the 4 lakh rupees profit, you have to deduct 10% commission, right, remuneration to whole-time directors. So, in this case, you have to use the equation here because both are inclusive. You have to use the equation here. Let the remuneration to whole-time director is X and remuneration to part-time directors, that is commission to part-time director is Y. Commission, that is not remuneration. Commission to part-time director is Y. And with the help of this, you can form the equation here. You can form the equation. Suppose whole-time director's remuneration is X and part-time director commission is Y. So X is equal to 10% of 4 lakh rupees minus part-time director's commission. Isn't it? X means whole-time director's commission or whole-time director's remuneration. Whole-time director's remuneration is 10% of the net profit after deducting commission to part-time director. Right? This is the part-time director's commission. So 10% of 4 lakh minus part-time director's commission. Why? We don't know what is the amount. We don't know what is the part-time director's commission. And it equals to 10% is 0.1. 0.1 into 4 lakh minus 5. This is equation number 1. 0.1. 10% is 0.1 into 4 lakh minus 5. And part-time director's remuneration is Y. Part-time director's remuneration Y is equal to 1% of the profit after deducting remuneration of X. Isn't it? So 1%, 1 by 100 into 4 lakh minus X means whole-time director's remuneration. So 1% of profit after deducting whole-time director's remuneration, or it comes to 1% means 0.01. 0.01 into 4 lakh minus X means whole-time director's remuneration. This is equation number 2. You can put the value in any one equation. Right? X is equal to 0.1 into 4 lakh minus Y. Y is equal to 0.01, right, into 4 lakh minus X. Isn't it? Put the value of Y in equation 1, or you can also put the value of X in equation 2. Any value you can take. If you put the value of Y in equation 1, you will get the value of X. Right? Take equation 1 and put the value of Y. Equation 1 is equal to, equation 1 is 0.1 into 0.1 means 10%. 10% into 4 lakh minus Y, value of Y. So 0.1 into 4 lakh minus, in place of Y, put the value of Y here. Y is what? Y is 0.1 into 4 lakh into X. Put the value of Y in equation 1 1. In the equation 1 is equal to 0.14 lakh into 4 lakh minus y. In place of y, we put the value of y here. Y is equal to 0.01 into 4 lakh minus x. And solve this equation. The first term here 0.1 into 4 lakh minus here 0.01 into 4 lakh is equal to 4000 minus 0.1 into x is equal to 0.01 into x is equal to 0.01x. Isn't it? And multiply this with 0.01. Sorry, 0.1. So 0.1 into 4 lakh is equal to 40,000. 0.1 into minus 0.1 into 4,000 is equal to 400. Minus into minus plus 0.1 into 0.01 is equal to 0.001. Multiply this 0.1 into all these figures. That you will get 40,000 minus 400 plus 0.001x. Isn't it? And that is x is equal to 40,000 plus minus 400 plus 0.001x. Put the value of 0.001x here. X here if it is transferred here, it will become minus 0.001. X minus 0.001x is equal to 40,000 minus 400 is equal to 39,600. X minus 0.001x is equal to how much? 9.999x. X means 1 here, 1x. X means 1x. 1 minus 0.001 is 0.999x is equal to 39,600. And x value of x is, isn't it? 39,600 divided by, see it is multiplication here, and when it's processed the bracket here, equal mark, it will be division, right? 39,600 divided by 0.999. The value is approximately 39,640. So x value is 39,640. X means remuneration to whole-time directors. Remuneration to whole-time director is 39,640, and when the value of x is obtained, you can easily get the value of y. Right? When a value of x is obtained, you can get the value of y here. So y is equal to what? Y is equal to, here put the value of x. In place of x, you can put the value of x. So when x is 39,640, take the equation of y, put the value of x, and calculate the value of y. Remuneration to whole-time director is 39,640. So put the value of, this is x, value of x in equation y. Whole-time directors, y is equal to 0.01 into 4 lakh minus, in place of x here, put the value of x, 39,640. So y is equal to 0.01 into 4 lakh minus 39,640 is equal to 3,60,360. 0.01 into 3,60,360. The value of y is equal to 3,604. It means commission payable to part-time director is 3,604, and commission payable, remuneration payable to the whole-time director is 39,640. So this is how when both the commission, directors commission, whole-time directors and part-time directors remuneration or commission, depending on the remuneration or commission of others, then you can use the simultaneous equation, and by solving the equation you can get the value of both, right? This is how you can calculate the value of remuneration as per the remuneration of managing director as per the provisions of the Companies Act, isn't it? So, it is enough for today. We will work out some examples in the next class. Thank you.